Good morning. We're working on Gem Wars. What we're going to be doing today is we are going to be adding the music and sound effects audio objects. Here in Unity, you can see that I've already started with just one here, and we've created a default base audio manager, which I'll show in just a moment. This is a very strange error. I don't know where this is coming from, so we'll just leave this for now, and then I'll either re-import all assets by doing the, where is it? Re-import all. So in the meantime, the game, when it starts, looks something like this. And I don't think the back end is running at the moment. So it'll bring this up, and then I'd have just a default beep, which we're going to change. But we need to implement these as audio objects. So let me first go into where I have this stuff categorized. And what we want to do is we first want to have my title screen, which is this one, as a MP3 called right there. Okay, so we are importing now the MP3 to save space. I want to load it in the background as no. You can press on load, preserve rate. Everything looks right. We want to preload the audio data. And this is my scriptable object, which we'll show in just a minute. Okay, so in my game, I'm going to have a couple of places. We're going to say it's going to be a we're going to say 0, and I'm going to call it beginning. And I'm going to bring in the tracks that we've selected here for the beginning. There's 3 of them. Okay. And I want to make sure their properties when they come in here are right, and they are. And so now what I want to do is I'm going to open up my scriptable objects here. Currently, I have one of type audio SO, which passes in an audio clip, and then an audio type, which is music or sound effects. We have a relative sound volume of the music or sound effect, and then the low and high pitch coefficient that these voices can be modified by. So for the game, I want to make a new audio object here called a audio object music game SO. And in this, I only want to have another property here for my index. And the index represents like if it's a beginning or a middle or an end, and then also the properties associated with it, like when those are being played. So for example, if it was 0, then we would know Well, it's almost like you want the index to be a function here. So instead of doing this, we can do a public enum called audio object music game type. And in this, we have a beginning to mid, a mid to end, a end winning, and a win. And if I look at these, the winning is, we have 2, this one. And then I think we have the same one. I think this is at the end of the game. So we do have a winning music. We do have a lose music. Yeah, they're good, right? Hey, this is winning end. Hey, hold on. Hey, Chuck, how are you doing? Makes me feel victorious. That's great. That's what I'm going for. It's good to have you with us, Chuck. How are you? Let me see here. Beginning to mid to end, end. And we want this to be end winning. We're just going to say that this is a winning in here. End. There's end winning. There's win. There's lose. And there's end losing. Okay? And we're just going to say that this is a audio type. Audio object music game type. Hey, yeah, Chuck, how are you? Tell me what's been going on. Last time we chatted, you told me that you were doing a little bit with ASP.NET. And then we'll just do that. Okay, so now I'm going to bring in those tracks. Okay, we had beginning here, and we want to make a new folder called title, and then a new folder called game. And in here, we're going to have a new track called music game beginning 0. And then we need to have another one here. And I'm doing this so I get a GUID each time. 1. And then 2. And then we'll assign the tracks here. These are all beginning. My relative volume will be 0.4F or something like that. Domain-driven design, microservices, cloud stuff, more design patterns, very useful at work. Yep, that sounds very familiar. Oh, I updated myself a bit with architecture in general. That's nice. Domain-driven, yeah, that's cool. Are you still working on your game engine? Okay, so those are all assigned here. My next set is beginning to mid. And that's these here. Yes, model generation phase began. That's cool. That sounds very complex and challenging. Okay, those two are done. So now we're going to add in here a new audio game called music game beginning to mid 0. Like that. We'll assign this one and this one. And we want both of these to be 1, 1 and 0.4. And these are beginning to mid. I'm familiar with 3D, but not with AI. I have no idea where to start in about everything, but hey, got to start somewhere. I'm familiar with 3D, but not with AI. Oh, yeah. AI is really interesting. I have a little bit of experience with it, but by no means am I an expert. End up trying to use AI and then coming up with my own algorithms a lot more, which I wish I was using AI, so I just need someone to hold my hand a little bit. You know, it's challenging. Let's do one more set, and then we'll get these things to play. So the next one is a mid. And we have 4 here. So 1, 2, 3, 4. And we'll make a new folder up here called mid and bring these 4 in. Okay. Hey, Dead Lion, how are you, man? It's been some time. I wonder how you're doing many times. How's life, man? My experience with AI is picking up random spots in a tic-tac-toe game. Isn't that from war games? Okay, so we're going to go ahead and assign this one, this one, this one, and then this one. 1, 1. Relative sound volume is 0.4, and these are mid. So over here in my free play offline, we're going to create a new empty game object called free play audio manager. Right here. And what we're going to do is we're going to add on here a public, and it was called a audio object game music array called audio objects music game. And that needs to have an SO at the end. So we want to introduce a new function in here called play music. And what I want to have here is a audio object music game type called audio object music game type. I'm good. Life has been ultra busy with the kids in school this year. Yeah, they're at home 3 of the 5 school days. But I did learn Python and Go recently. I like Python. Can't say the same about Go. Also tried Rust. I want to like it, but it's so damn complicated. I've never tried Rust. I've used Python a little bit. I like it. I wish I knew more. And then I have never worked with Go. What don't you like about Go? So in here, when I look at these, we want to have a new protected bool called has been played. And so you want to have a public virtual void play song. And it's just going to be a has been played equals true. And then this is going to be a reset play song. We're just going to call it reset. And then play. And we'll just say has been played equals false, okay? So over in my game event handler, I want to make a new class here called audio event handlers. We're going to do this with a static event handler, just like we did for the other ones. It's a little game. So in this, I'm going to have a, fix the namespace here, have a public static event called a, if I look, everything's a game event handler, which is fine. Game event handler. And we want this all to be on the main thread. And so this is going to be a type of. And so when I look at my events under args, we're going to make a new one here called audio. I'm just going to call it audio event args. Which needs to be this. And it needs to inherit from base args. And it's just going to have a audio object SO. We don't want the get set for this. So this is a audio event args. And this is going to be called a audio event. And then I want to have a public static void called play audio object. And it's going to be a sender and a audio event args. And all I want to do is a audio event dot invoke, and it's not asynchronous, so this is okay. Sender and my args. So in the game, now what we're going to do under play is we're going to do a audio event handler like that. And we want to say play audio object, which is this, and then a new event args where my audio object equals this. And so what I want to do here is I want to get my audio object selected, and I want to get my audio objects music game. Now I don't want to modify the individual objects. I won't. So this one, and I want to get my where. See, Deadline says Go is Google and bad. Go is not as bad language, you just don't like it. It felt harder to do things than it should be. Is it scripted? Is it server side? I really don't know anything about it. Is it like for me? I think it's for making applications, right? Is it native applications? And I want to get this where my audio music game type is equal to audio object music game type, and it public bool has been played like that. And it has not been played. And now I want to say, we're going to do this again up above. And I'm going to put this in an if. If there aren't any like that, then you want to do a audio objects music game dot for each. And you just want to reset them. And then I want to do a order by a GUID, so it's random, and get my first or default. And then we're just going to take this and do a play. Okay, so one thing I'm going to do is I'm going to drop this into another layer. So down here, underneath mono behaviors, I'm going to make a new base game audio manager. And we're going to drag this stuff into here. like that. And then for each one of these, we have a free play audio manager, which has been set. We have a battle audio manager, which is a game audio manager. And then we have a practice, which is a game. Go language, it's apparently good for server-side stuff, but it reminds me more of a manageable C++ code base. That sounds like a lot of work. C++ is a lot of work to do things that in C# I can do pretty rapidly. Okay, so that's going to play it. Now we need to handle that in our game manager. So in my mono behavior for base game manager, I should have a audio event handlers dot audio event plus equals to on audio event. And we want to dispose of that down here. And all I want to do here is do my audio manager dot play audio object, which is my args dot audio object. You also have something like a delay, but we don't need to worry about that. And so now what I want to do in here is I want to have a new public virtual, we're going to say abstract void called get audio object music game type. And that's abstract. So it's just like that. So when we're doing the free play, we want to implement this. And what I want to look at in here is evaluate which board number we are on, the number of points you have, and the time of the match, and we want to say the number of squares remaining without pieces. But for now, I'm just going to return beginning. And then in practice, we want to evaluate this with the board number we are on, the number of points you have, the number of points the opponent has, the time of the match, and the number of squares remaining without pieces. And in our last one for battle, evaluate which round we are on, which match we are on, the number of opponents remaining in the game, the amount of HP of local player versus online players. And we'll just do it like this. So now in my base game manager, when we do my start new game, when I look at my start scene, so when you're offline, that's not going to work. We're going to say that we have a new function here called start music, which is a protected virtual void start music. And all we want to do is my audio manager.play music. That's a type of base game audio manager. Because now, when I'm doing a practice game online, I want to have a protected override void called start music. And we don't do anything for that. Instead, where we do this, and we do my start game event, I want to do audio manager.play music. Same thing here on the game manager offline. I want to have a protected override void called start music, where we don't do anything. And down here, when we do, I want to do a audio manager.start music. Sorry. It's called play music. That should be it. And it says that this needs to be a base game audio manager. Same thing here. We're good. So now when I look at my free play online and offline, we're going to take the free play audio manager here, and we're going to add all of my musics to it. And then I'm going to create that as a prefab here. like that. So now when we go into the online one, I can just drag that in. And then on my manager, we want to add in my audio manager. Okay, for the practice, we need to make a new game object called practice audio manager. And in this one, we also want to have these musics. We're going to drag that into audio. Then we have one for online. Okay. And then your last one is battle. You need to create a new one called Battle Audio Manager. And in this, we want to add these ones. Make it a prefab and add it to the manager. Jump back over into the title. And now we will try it. So let me run the back end. Give it a second to start. There's quite a few services that start. Give it a run. We will fix these sound effects in a few minutes. Just another second for everything to start. There it is. It's connected. We're in. That worked. Okay, we're going to go to Open Play. And there we go. So we have a lot of pieces to add in for audio tracks. And we also want to have an event for when this thing finishes playing a song. So if I look in Unity at this, we should have a, oh, this is the wrong project. See, it's just playing the music here. But it doesn't know when this is done. So we're going to make a new event here. On this, we're going to add a new public enum audio event type. And we're going to have a start and a stop. So up here, I can do a you're going to destroy the component, and then you're going to do a audio event handlers dot. We're going to change this to be called fire audio event. And my event type is stop. So we're going to have another one for play, start, stop. My audio object is audio object. So down here, I'm going to do a fire audio event for start. And instead of doing this, I want to do this one. We can scrap that and just have play audio object. And that's it. Hey, Sound of Gaming, how are you doing? Welcome back to the channel. It's good to have you with us. So when I look at Base Game Manager, where we play our music, that's going to fire this as a play. You also want to have a delay in here, which we're going to call delay. I'm good. How are you? Getting Christmas wish list ideas. That sounds like a fun Sunday. I'm doing great. We're adding music to the game, which is a lot of fun. So I think we're good there. And if I was to play it a second time, yeah, that's right. We'll just run this again. It's going to reconnect me to my current game. That was weird. That was very odd. So in my base audio manager, that's adding an audio source. That sound should become an Easter egg. What it's like it did is when it started the start music here, should play music. Fires the audio object for play. Oh, I know exactly what it is. And then here we need to do a switch on my args.audio object type. And only if it's play do we do this. And here I want to say switch on my args.audio object. And if this is a case audio object game music SO, music game SO, then I want to do another play music. Audio manager.play music. Getting audio to work properly in Unity can be a pain. I had problems getting sound effects to work in my small mobile game when I first released it. Yeah, it's kind of a pain in the ass. I try to use an audio manager that sits on top and is perennial for the scene. And that way I just continuously add more audio components to it and destroy them when the music is done. So the way I've handled it in this project is I have a base audio object that has things that set the sound effect and music level, and then two functions that are public play audio objects, one with a delay. And that just starts this coroutine. And what that does is it first waits for the delay. It adds a new audio source. It sets the volume, because the volume can change with each frame as people adjust them in the options. And so then it plays it, fires an event to start the music, and then while it's playing, it will, every frame, it's going to make sure that the volumes are set right. At the end, it destroys the component, and then we fire the audio event to close it out. So the other thing that I've done with this is I'm using a static event handler, which is here. Public static audio event, fire audio event. And so what this means is anywhere in the application I can go audio event handlers dot fire audio event. In that you pass in the audio object that you want to fire, and that gets handled only in the game manager, which turns around and plays it. So because of the static infrastructure here, you can call this anywhere in the app. So for example, when I have individual scriptable objects here for the audio objects here, you can see like right here, I've just introduced a function right on this called play, and that fires the static. And so that way everything is managed in one location, but I can use it from anywhere within the app. All right, let's give it a play. Good, it's going to reconnect me. There we go. Okay, and so now what I want to do, since that's working correctly, is we're going to add in some more tracks. So underneath my game, we have another section here called mid to end, which is these two. Looks good. And then we're going to add 2 new audio objects here called music, game, mid to end 0. And then we'll make another one because the GUIDs are being generated here called 1. And we're going to put that there, and then we want to put this there. Both of these are music, 1, 1, and 0.4, and it's mid to end. Okay, the next one is we have end, and there's 4. And they are right here. Okay. And then down here, we need to create a new audio music game object called music game end 0. And we need 4 of these. Okay, and all 3 of these are going to be 1, 1 at 0.4, and this is end. And then we're going to assign them. Okay, the next one that we have are end winning. You also have one called winning, so just a second. Let's see. That's really short. I don't know if we want that one. So that to me sounds like winning. So let's change this. And we are going to change this to get rid of the end winning. So the next one here is called what? Winning, right? Yeah, winning and then win. So we have music, game, winning, 0. And then we have another one here called music, game, winning, 1. And that's right here, called winning. And we'll bring these 2 in. We'll say it's winning 1, 1.4. My audio object is this one and this one. Perfect. Okay. The next one is win. That's right here. There's only two. And I'm going to create a new audio game object here called music game win 0. And then a music game win 1. One 1.4. Whoops, I picked the wrong two. It's these two. I was like, that didn't look right. Okay. And then we have lose and end losing. Because this is when you win. So win here should be total win, right? End win. So we want to have a win, and then we want to have an end win. Okay, so that'll be here. I want to say win end. Let's do that. This is win match. And we're just going to call these winning here. So when I go down here again, we're going to change these to be a end, winning, win, match, win game. So there's winning, win match, win end, lose, and lose end. So down here we have music game win end 0, which is this one. You have this one, which is winning. And then you want to have one more, which is called win match 0, which is this one here. Okay, you've got a few more. You've got lose. And then we also want to have a new folder in here called sound effects. I just want to throw these in here so I don't lose them. And we want to have one in here for the chests. We're going to say it's this one. And then we want to have another one in here called buttons. Okay, now over here I've got a game over loss. And there's 3 of those. So we'll bring these 3 up here to my loss end, like that. Okay, so this one here is going to be a loss match. So now we need to have a lose end and a lose match. So this is loss end, which is just this one. And this is lose loss match. Okay. That's it. So now when we look back at here, I should have some additional music tracks that I want to add in here. What's this? Okay, we're going to call this leaderboard. And then we have one here called menu unused. Like those two. And that's it. Additionally, we want to, in my audio, we want to have a new folder in here called game. And for this one, I'm just going to bring in these folders. And there's quite a few objects in here. And then my title sound, we can get rid of this. And I can say that we want it to be a I like this one. So these are all of the different sounds, and we want these to be decompressed on load. That's right. And so that's looking pretty good. My audio sound effects didn't get this one. I'm not using that. So now when we start the game, oh, it's going to reconnect me to the game, so I need to abandon it. Okay, we have to play offline for this to work. Notice that my game title music here isn't set to the right levels. And then this is our sound effect. And that's the sounds that we're going to add in here. Okay. So over in source tree, let's first go to my board. We're looking for 31, which is currently in progress. So we're going to do a branch here for feature Gem Wars 31. I'm going to make a commit, and we're going to say Gem Wars 31, and my time will be 90 minutes, and my comment will be added title, music, and one sound effect, added music, game SOs, and matched to audio prefabs, audio manager prefabs, and that's pretty good. Well, let's go ahead and let me make sure that everything that we're staging here is right. Yeah, all of those are new, including my UI fade animation. Okay, let's go ahead and stage everything. and we'll commit it. Now, while that works, one thing I have to change is inside of GemWars, where I'm doing my audio manager. Come on. We're playing this audio object here. But I want to make sure that it hasn't been stopped. So for example, each one of these coroutines returns an object that I could manage up here with like a dictionary where my audio object is the ID and the coroutine is the pair. Another one you could do is you could do like a stop music. Let me think about this for a minute. This is completed, so we're good there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a short break. I'll be back in, say, 15 minutes, maybe 16 minutes. If you guys have any questions, it's a great time to pop them into the chat. We've also got a Discord, discord.pixelhorrorstudios.com. I put all these videos up at youtube.pixelhorrorstudios.com. When we come back, we're going to finish adding our sound effects on top of the music. And then we've got some programming to do to add some conditions for when different tunes are played. And we've written some notes in terms of how we want that to be calculated. So thanks again for staying with me, and I'll see you guys in just a few minutes.